Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of 18 Minutes with 180 Markets. The old and the new. That's what we're going to talk about today. And the old being, firstly, the greatest store of value since mankind, which is gold. We're also going to talk about old in terms of going and exploring for gold in already known locations. But the new is using new techniques and maybe throwing a little wrinkle into those exploration techniques by going just slightly deeper, which really gives us a much higher probability of success. And here to talk all about it, we have Amanda Buckingham of Warriedar Resources. And Amanda and I have spoken many times, but now I'm thrilled for you all to meet her as well. And with that introduction, Amanda, welcome.
Thank you, Greg. Great to be here.
Good. Hey, Amanda, in just a couple minutes, can you let everyone know a little bit about your background? How did you get to where you are today?
Good question. Well, my background is entirely technical. I am a geophysicist in terms of my background and my expertise. And I have spent actually almost 30 years using the right data in the right way to find mineral deposits. So I'm very fortunate now that I run the Warriedar team. And I'm doing this because I believe we have some great assets with incredible opportunities. And we are doing exactly what I have always done, collecting the right data, using it in the right way to actually improve our chances of success and discovery.
Right. And speaking of that and getting into Warriedar specifically, you have a big, well-known land holding out in WA. Can you just tell us a little bit about the project?
Absolutely. So we do. I think the real estate analogy is that we are the worst house on the best street. We sit right in the middle of the richly mineralized Murchison, surrounded by profitable operating mines and advanced exploration projects. Our land holding is quite large, but we do have an existing million-ounce gold resource on the tenure. And our focus is to find more gold. In fact, if you ask me what is our company strategy in simple terms, I would say it is simply to go out and discover more mineable ounces of gold. And we have a good opportunity to do that because it's not complicated. Like, we already have gold resources, and
Right.
we are simply looking below and along strike from them in areas that previous explorers didn't look.
Right. And so to be clear, because I really want to touch on this point here, all you're really doing then is going where you already have the gold and it's known and just going slightly deeper. Is that correct?
It is generally correct. What we do is we look at the entire package, and we know that most of our gold sits along one mineralized shear. It's called the Warriedar shear. So we are going below and just north and south of existing deposits, but we are also testing areas that have been overlooked previously. So it's a bit of a risk analysis, like which parts of the belt are likely to have gold that have never been looked at. So we drill holes there. But importantly, the existing deposits, where should we drill below them to find more gold and build up our resource? And I should actually state the reason this hasn't been done before is that this was a producing mine until the middle of 2019.
Right.
And the mill was only configured for soft oxide ore. So there was no ability to process deeper rock, deeper ore. And so, of course, if you're a mining company, you're only going to be focused on feeding your hungry mill. You're not going to be looking for resources that you can't put through your plant. So now we have removed that constraint, and we have allowed ourselves to just look at the package and go, where do we believe we should drill for ore that can be economically extracted? And that opens up the entire search space below these deposits. And we've had some success this year. We drilled 5 of our existing deposits, all on permitted mining leases. And of those 5, we extended all 5 to different degrees of success. And some of the holes, we couldn't quite reach the target because we're using an RC rig, which is cheaper than a diamond rig.
Sure.
But I tell you what, we know a lot more about these resources now than we did in February when we took on the projects. And I see 2024. In fact, this quarter and into next year is going to be an incredible year for us.
Right. Hey, Amanda, also just getting a little bit more into the detail and maybe talk a little bit about the grades for a second. And I know that everyone gets maybe a touch over focused on grades, but your grades are particularly good. Can you just discuss them?
So in WA, the average resource grade is 1.5 grams per tonne, but we have high grade shoots in several of these deposits, and that's where we're going to focus in terms of a deeper diamond program next year. We believe we can chase these greater than 5 gram per tonne shoots below existing pits, and we've now got really good control on them. We have an in-house database person. We can see everything really well in 3D now. We've also engaged the services of a mining group to, I guess, to keep us on track. Like, we are looking at these deposits and going, look, it's really nice to find gold, but we want mineable ounces. We want gold that we can extract economically. We want to actually put these back into production. So we don't want to be distracted by chasing small gold deposits that will never come in. So we know really clearly, we have a clear view in terms of where to drill to chase the high grade shoots. And some of the grades of the measured and indicated resources are above 3.5. So there's solid cores to these resources.
Right. And I think that's so important, investors, especially during these times where there has been a market pullback, where it's not only important to find a discovery, but to also know that it's truly economically mineable. I think it's really, again, the market is tough, and that's why it's so important to get specific. Amanda, also, just following up with that, you said that you have a data type of background. Do you feel like all the data that you're combining now with new techniques of and analyzing it, like you discussed, it really increases your probabilities of success?
Oh, well, I do believe that, Greg, and that's always been I suppose, my mantra. I've always adopted the whole mineral systems approach to targeting and exploration and discovery. And by that, I mean, you force yourself to think of your project in terms of what is required to form a large gold deposit. And if you do that, to me, it actually is really then quite simple. You have to have the components. It directs you into the locations that you should drill, and you're constantly updating your model and your understanding of your data. So I'm always a believer, you collect the right data, you interpret it the right way, and then you drill where the data tells you to drill. Sometimes it's not where you may intuitively feel like drilling, but I think it's really important to let the data tell the story. And there's so much we can do these days. Exploration undercover, using geophysics and geochemistry appropriately. And I have a great team who really enjoy, they love collecting all this data and using it with new software, new techniques, even simple things like we have a drone on site that we use to monitor all our tailings and pits. We've got some fantastic software now that allows us to see, like, meter resolution on variability in slopes of pits, and just what you can do with drone footage and aerial satellite data is remarkable. So, and we enjoy it. It's the team, I can see the excitement in their faces when we have these. We have weekly site and technical meetings, and it's an open forum to discuss what's happening, what's new, what have we overlooked. I'm really happy with the team I've built, and I know that they are really enthusiastic about pushing these resources to the next stage.
Yeah, and I think as an investor, all this helps, and we were discussing it beforehand, what I would call probabilistic thinking, which is giving yourself the best chance of having success and also the biggest upside when you do have those big findings. I guess turning it now a little bit to the drill bit itself. You have a lot of drilling activity planned for the rest of 23, I suppose, or 2024. Maybe discuss that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So we took on these projects in February. The first half of the year, we drilled just under 27,000 meters. And with that, we extended 5 of the 5 gold deposits that we drilled. all on permitted mining leases. So we were happy with that progress. The last quarter, the September quarter, we drilled some more gold and finally started drilling some of our copper targets. And we've drilled about another 7,000 meters. So I know it's not a race to, obviously it needs to be quality meters, but the point being we're spending the money in the ground. We're doing what we said we would do. We now understand our assets a lot better. And we've got, we just drilled into an area of our projects that we call Fields Find West, that is
Yes.
our copper story, that I believe complements our gold story really well. And so through 2024, we will continue to progress the gold story, drilling into what we believe will be mineable ounces of gold. But in parallel, we will pursue our copper story. And that is where we have potentially, the blue sky opportunity for Warriedar. We sit in a belt. It's not just a gold belt, it's a base metals belt. So Golden Grove, WA's best copper zinc lead mine, it's literally 3 kilometers from our site.
Wow.
We sit at the end of the day at the camp, take your boots off, relax, you look and you see the lights of Golden Grove. So you can literally walk to Golden Grove. Our package has a high prospectivity for base metals, copper, nickel, PGEs, cobalt, even Silver Lake's Deflector mine in the next belt is sort of 60 k's away to our west. So there are profitable base metals mines in our belt, and that's what we are searching for, in particular copper in parallel with the gold.
Right. And us as Warriedar shareholders, we obviously get that benefit for free, if you will. Now, again, the size of this program, though, you are fully funded and have a very big program. Is this right that you're going to drill about 40,000 meters in the next year?
Indeed. Well, our statement of 40,000 meters, I think we made that earlier this year.
Okay.
And we set our goal was to drill that initially by Christmas this year. And so I think we what is it, 27 plus 7, 34 we've already drilled. And we will get out there again. The rig is turning up again on site early November, actually possibly even next week. We sort of work in with a few other groups in the belt to minimise mobilisation costs. So we will drill again. So we'll get close to that 40,000 metres for the calendar year. I imagine it will be 40,000 will probably tick over, sometime in the second quarter next year. But the point being, and the reason I stated that initially, is that we spend the money in the ground. Obviously, we operate well, we're safe and careful on site, but we are an operation that lives and breathes on site. All the team, they're based on the mine site. We have a great camp, the old mill, really good infrastructure. It's very easy to function on site. And so we are busy drilling, and that's the ultimate test. Of course, all the work goes into working out where to put the drill hole. There's very careful consideration of every hole. But certainly we've drilled a lot and we will continue to do that.
Hey, Amanda, we have to keep these interviews fairly short, but on a closing basis, if there were 1 or 2 points you would like every investor or prospective investor to know about Warriedar, what would they be?
Warriedar is out busy finding more gold and hopefully some copper. We have projects in tier 1 locations, existing resources, clear and immediate upside. And importantly, we've got an incentivized team out busy actually progressing these projects, and we enjoy what we're doing. So please be part of our story.
Right. Hey, Amanda, thank you so much, and we will definitely stay in touch.
Thanks, Greg. That was fun.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.